But what I don't understand is, if you're so patriotic, why wouldn't you be cheering on the Lionesses?
Because I can't stand women's football. I don't know where everyone gets this. The whole country's behind the women's football. I don't watch it. I'm a massive football fan. I'm a Chelsea fan. I can't watch women's football. End of. And like most blokes who I talk to, no one watches it. No one's interested in it. How many St George's flags have you seen flying out of our houses or cars? No one's interested.
Here's the thing Graham keeps skipping over. Because 12.2 million people tuned in to watch that final, 16.5 million watched the Euros, and 2 billion, with a B, watched the World Cup back in 2023. 70,000 fans packed the streets of London just to catch a glimpse of that trophy. So when a man tells you nobody's interested, he's not describing the country, he's describing himself. And honestly, there's a real difference between not caring about something and needing the entire nation to know you don't care about it. One of those is indifference, the other is a cry for attention.
But wouldn't it be nice if we were interested, Graham?
Yeah, listen, I think most people like me, most blokes who are football-minded, are sick and tired of having women's football thrown down our throats.
Well, you
turn on the telly, there's always women. Listen, I've got nothing against women's football, but give them their own channel. With their own commentators and everything. But they won't, because they want to watch it. And as for the hospitality...
But people do want to watch it, Graham.
Sorry?
People do want to watch women's football.
Yeah, but not like the whole country's behind you. No, they're not. No, I won't be watching it.
Why?
And I'm a massive football
What else are you
fan.
doing?
I'll probably work.
Do you know, I mean, you say no one's watching... Graham, 10 million people watched the Euro semi-final.
Right, yeah.
Which is it's a lot of people. And you're saying no one's interested.
How many millions of people in this country?
Well, 60-odd million, 70 million.
Yeah, 60-odd million, yeah. So, but what's the percentage of that
Well,
then?
it's still pretty blooming high compared to other shows and other things that are on TV.
When are people going to get it? A lot of people are not interested. And as for the hospitality...
What I don't get, Graham, is would you say you're patriotic?
Yes, very. So why haven't we got a bank holiday for St George's Day?
Well, we should have a bank holiday for St George's Day.
Exactly.
I'm not.
That comes first.
Yeah, but you cannot... I mean, that's a separate conversation. But what I don't understand is, if you're so patriotic, why wouldn't you be cheering on the Lionesses?
Because I can't stand women's football.
But why?
It's been thrown down our throats.
But what do you mean can't stand... I mean, I can understand reservations about it not being as quick as the men's game, for example, but the idea that you can't stand it, I don't get that.
No, it's totally different to men's football. Listen, a decent Sunday men's football team would beat the women's football team.
I don't think they would.
But what about the women's football, the England team, a couple of years ago, played Crystal Palace under-18s behind locked doors, and they had to abandon the game at half-time. It was 8-0 to Crystal Palace youth.
But do you not think, Graham, it's had a lot more attention since then, and also women aren't often...
Only because it's been thrown in our faces. But the hospitality thing. Listen, the pubs weren't open till 1 o'clock. Who do they think goes and watches women's football? It's young kids and girls. They're not interested in going to the pub.
But hold on, Graham. I think there's an argument to get people interested in women's football. One of the reasons why the women aren't at the same quality is also because it's not taught in schools.
Right.
So would you not support women sort of being able to play from a younger age, and then the quality goes up? Because people always cite that Crystal Palace example, which I do understand, but I mean, you know, they can only improve. You can only support women's football so it gets better. No,
I'm not interested in it. Not interested in it at all.
What else are you doing tomorrow night, Graham?
I'll probably work, mate. I'm a London black cabbie, and I'll probably work rather than watch that. Like most men.
But what I don't get is, because Graham, I'm an Arsenal fan, so obviously I support a much better team than you, so I've got a different perspective. But what I don't get is, I mean, if football's, you're right. Compared to the England men's team, I'm not going to be as invested in each player. I couldn't name you the whole England Lioness starting 11, if I'm being honest. But I'll still watch it and cheer on England. It's like the same. I'm not a rugby fan, but if the Six Nations are on, I'll watch it and I'll cheer on England.
Yeah, I would. The men's rugby, anything to do with the men.
But why wouldn't that extend to the women's sports?
No, because you don't get it. People in this country, men and football fans, are fed up with this being thrown in our faces. Women come. If Better the Day's on, and the women commentator, I turn it off. I can't listen to that voice. I can't. Give them their own channel, but they won't because they've no one to watch it.
But what do you mean you can't stand their voice? What, all women?
Yeah, I can't. They shouldn't be in the men's game. End of.
Are you married? Are you married to a woman, Graham?
Yeah, I am. She feels the same.
What, she doesn't like any women's voice?
No, not on the football.
Let's talk the success of the Lionesses. Nick's in Holland Park. Great last night, wasn't it, Nick?
It was terrific, and I consider myself a bit of a football misogynist, but I was really taken up, quite emotional at the end when they got the trophy. I did want, of course, I wanted to put in two contrary comments. One is, of course...
You're not going to rain on their England parade, are you?
Not on them at all. They're beautiful and they did a great job. Right. But Skier, inviting them to number 10 today, come on, mate, it's just, milking it for himself.
Hold on, Nick, I'm not going to cut you off, but imagine if he hadn't.
Yeah, okay, fair point. But here's my real eye.
Go on.
And it's with UEFA. It's the trophy. Did no one else spot that? It looked like something my mother would pick up from a car boot sale. It was unbelievable. You watched it, didn't you?
I did.
What was that thing?
It's a weird design. I don't know what to say. It's a very, very weird design. I mean, there's a sort of...
Can I just... Nick, give them a proper trophy, a proper silver trophy with two handles and a black base that looks like you've actually won something. That looked like you won a tombola. Unbelievable.
I hadn't thought of that. I did note I was going to say the man, it might be a woman, I don't know, the person engraving on the trophy England as they were dancing around the pitch prior to it being handed over. Yeah, you're right. When you think of, lastly, Nick, this is going to prove my age, the Jules Rimet. You've no idea what that is. But
of course I have, Nick.
Do you remember the Jules Rimet with, I think it's a woman holding like a trophy aloft or something like that?
Yeah, but it's gold and it looks like a trophy.
But Andy, you want to pick up on the conversation we were just having about the Lionesses and their pay? Feel free.
Oh, hi, Ben.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, yeah, evening. I think they've done a fine job. I think, but when I look at the quality of the football, I just think they're not as technically gifted as men. I don't know, it's just the way they... I mean, they did an experiment, didn't they? The Swiss professional team got beaten 7-1 by under-15s. Schoolboys have got humiliated, and I think they've only just broke into the sport. Like, do you know what I mean? They need to sort of...
They haven't broken into it. They have basically made it a far bigger sport than it was before. They have driven women's football forward.
I'm saying, it's a pedigree, and I don't know. I don't want to sound...
They've won, Andy. They've actually won something. When was the last time the men's team did that?
Well, 66.
Well, this is it. So we've got to give them some credit, haven't we?
My dad's idol,
They've shown the bottle and the skill and the mental resilience and all the rest of it that the men's team, frankly, could only dream of all these years.
The World Cup, I think we did well against Spain. Cole Palmer pulled one back.
Andy, what have we won? What has the England men's football team won in the last half a century?
Spain
Nothing.
I think Spain were technically better than England, actually.
But we won, and that's what matters. And they've done it twice in 3 years, and they're not going to get paid as much as the blokes would have done.
Lady Luck was on their side a bit.
They won.
Lady Luck.
Surely they deserve the same recognition, and I'm talking about financial recognition.
They deserve.
No, I'm talking about financial recognition. Surely they should get the pay. They should get the same prize money as the blokes. Surely.
All right. Well, let's put it to the test then. Let's see them play. I don't know, the England under-16.
But why? That's different sports. They're different. They're different. It's completely different. You're diminishing their talent and their achievements just because they lose to a men's team?
Really well. They did really well. I think the England team have done really well as well, the men's. I think we've done all right. We ain't won it, but
why is it fair that the women get so much less in prize money than the men?
Yeah.
John's in Croydon. John, your take on the last few days. Morning.
Good morning, Nick. And I echo some of your thoughts where I believe it's fabulous, but where I differ from yourself is the constant berating of the men in your praises for the women's game. Now, by all means, praise the women and their results, but let's not do the constant comparing and, but look how terrible the men are. And you do this also, Nick, in terms of...
well, they are terrible.
I know she's not comparatively a lioness, but if you look at Sam Kerr, Chelsea, England's high-profile captain, when she racially abused a Mets police officer. It didn't get much coverage on this.
Well, now we need to triple check that. So I'm just waving at a colleague. If we come more broadly, though, the blokes have failed countless times.
Yeah, and I understand that, but then to that point, the level of competitive, like how competitive it is. That's
no, that's ridiculous. No, that's ridiculous, John. The Spanish women are going at it against the Lionesses just the same way as the Spanish blokes would go against the English team. Come on, there's a level of competitiveness.
But my comparison that I'm talking about is between the men's game and the women's game, and where the men, even in certain countries, there will be a much more of a tolerance of men playing the sport than there will of women. And in the more economically developed countries, women will get that opportunity. In the less economically developed countries that are still marvellous at football, like we've seen with many African and Asian nations, they still are able to play the sport. However, many women in that field or in that country wouldn't be able to.
Do you not agree that some of them put in a shift, but broadly speaking, the men are overpaid failures compared to the Lionesses?
Their overpayment comes from the commercialisation of it, and you're a newspaper man here, Nick, so you understand this. Yeah. When people have, when there's a story that people want to read it because it shows interest, because there's a lot of fame or celebrity around them, women do not attract that same thing in football at this very moment in time. So the commercialisation has not been allowed to happen. Maybe it's because the game was in for 100 years before that, but regardless, we are where we are, and that's the reason for such payments, because it creates them such superstars.
But you do agree that the men are overpaid failures compared to the women?
Comparatively in the international feed.
Well, sport is all about comparisons, isn't it? And it's all about achieving results, which is what the England women's team seem to be particularly good at, and the blokes do not. And that's the reality.
Back to the football and the question of what it was like to love to play when you were young, that you now, well, that you then couldn't do. Kay's in Welling. Kay, what would you like to say?
Hi, James.
Hello.
I was born in 1966, not ashamed to mention that. But, so I played football with the boys at school because there wasn't an opportunity for girls to play in a team. And then when I went to secondary school, I was geared towards netball because there wasn't any opportunities for football, which was really sad. So I then had a full career actually in professional football, still empowering young women to play and to work within the game. My daughter then took up the mantle and started playing. But what I really wanted to say as well, she's 25 now, so when she was about 12, we used to put her team of girls into boys' tournaments throughout the summer in the closed season.
Right.
And the dads and the parents used to give them so much stick, we had to pull them out, telling their boys, why are you letting the girls beat you? You know, they're only girls.
So
women?
So
and that's just that short time ago.
Yeah, that's extraordinary. So again, if we're trying to chart this timeline, 10 years. Something happened 7 or 8 years ago. There's something began to shift, I think, perhaps.
I think, just full circle, James, I know you're really busy, but she's currently in the Caribbean coaching and mentoring young women to take part in football and empowering them to change their lives through the sport. So
that's sensational. This is sensational.
Full circle in the way, because she decided not to go pro route because she ended up having a child quite young, but no regrets on that. But she's now changing the lives of young women around the world, trying to empower them using football.
It's worth sitting with this for a second, because this game was banned in England for 50 years, banned by a room full of men back in the 1920s. And these women still came back and still out-achieved the men's team by pretty much every measure that matters. Trophies, crowds, emotion, the lot. So next time somebody tells you women's football doesn't deserve the spotlight, just ask them one question. Where's the men's trophy been hiding since 1966? The Lionesses didn't wait for permission. They just kept playing. And now the whole country's watching, whether Graham's driving his cab or not.